Hi everyone, it's Duncan from Rock and Real Reviews, Scotland's #1 review site for all things punk, rock, metal and movies. Welcome back to another Duncan's Quickie. I'm Duncan, here comes the Quickie. Today's Quickie video is a long video, so long that we're going to split it over 2 videos. Now I've tried to record this 3 times since Christmas, which was almost 2 weeks ago, and between YouTube and my Mac, everything just seems to be going wrong. So 3rd time's a charm, which is not bad because my list has changed 3 times. So, as it stands just now, this is the most accurate top 10 of 2012 from this reviewer for Rock and Real Reviews, Duncan McLeish. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to run down from 10 to 6 on this video, and the next video will run from 5 to 1, obviously, the remaining numbers. So, let's just get in about it and see what was in at number 10. And number 10 is from a French band. The band are called Klone, and the album is called The Dreamer's Hideaway. Now, Klone were a band who were relatively unknown to myself. When I say relatively unknown, I'd never fucking heard of them before. And the boss man, Dave, slid me a wee copy of the album, said, we've been asked to review this, I quite like it, see what you think, and I was blown away. This band mix kind of Alice in Chains sort of kind of style, kind of grungy vocals, but not full on Alice in Chains vocals, but that sort of era vocals, progressive rock and crushing Gojira-like metal. So you'll get huge ambient sections, very beautiful sections. The vocals will soar over the top, and then you'll get battered with a fucking huge Leviathan sort of fucking riff, which will pummel in, and then it'll take you off all over the place. The album is a wonderful listen, which not a lot of albums can have that repeat listenability where every time you listen to it, you feel yourself going off into almost like a dream, and it's a fucking joy to listen to. So if anything I've said here piques your interest, then you should check them out. I should say that all the reviews for the albums which I mentioned, so if they have been reviewed on Rock and Real Reviews, the links will be below, and you should check them out because not all the albums I mentioned in my top 10 were reviewed by myself. Some of my colleagues reviewed them, and maybe you want to check them out, see what they thought. Did they like it as much as I did? Maybe they didn't. You just don't know until you click the button. So click the button. So that was number 10. That's Klone, The Dreamer's Hideaway. Jumping down to number 9, it's a British band, and it is the mighty Orange Goblin with their album Eulogy of the Damned. Now, Orange Goblin are one of these bands which I've listened to for fucking years. Always seem to be one of those kind of very, very, very stable bands that you can go back to and listen to, and you know whenever they're putting an album out that year, it's going to be fucking solid. They're a kind of stoner rock, kind of slash metal sort of group from the UK, and their new album is a marked kind of improvement over anything I've done before. Not only is the production, excellent on it, the band really kind of stretch their fingers out into lots of different genres. It kind of, there's like a 70s vibe, there's kind of blues riffs, there's proper stoner rock, there's stoner metal, all in here, all just fucking flung into the mix, and it's a wonderfully fucking crafted album. There's even a song based on a horror novel called The Fog. It was later made into a film by John Carpenter. It's one of my favourite novels, one of my favourite films. So that's just like a wee bit of pepper on the top of the steak for me. So check that out. That's Orange Goblin, Eulogy of the Damned. Now, in at number 8, now this album was in my top 5 right up until about September. It was fucking such a strong album, but unfortunately the quality of albums since then have been pretty fucking strong as well, and it's slipped down. If you have had a chance to read my review, it is below, you will probably realise I fucking went for it on that review, going so far as to say that Clayton, the guy who's involved in the project, is basically to 2010s industrial music as Trent Reznor was to 1990s industrial music. Of course, I'm speaking about Celldweller and their new album Wish Upon a Black Star. Now, Wish Upon a Black Star is a collection of 5 different chapter EPs, 4 of which were already released commercially, The fifth one essentially made up the final album. It is a fucking beast of an album. This guy is crazy at what he does. He mixes dance, dubstep, industrial, ambience, electronica, euphoria, new metal, all fucking kind of crammed together on the one album. And I think, he basically made us wait 10 years for the follow up to his debut album, Celldweller. But what I think is he's really fucking went for it. And the time has only been kind to him, really, because he's really been able to explore some of the more modern dance elements. A lot of bands don't really branch out in that, and dubstep's huge at the moment, and he's got his finger on the pulse. The tracks sound so modern that there's artists just coming out doing the sort of kind of mesh of different styles that he's doing. And I would even fucking hedge a bet that Wish Upon a Black Star will stand the test of time as well. Don't think it'll be like a lot of industrial albums which date fairly quick while musical scenes change. I think its listenability will span over 10 years anyway, and people will come back. And I think he is at the forefront of a new kind of musical generation of kind of metal musicians who really have their own kind of portable home studios and are just prepared to mix different things. It's an excellent listen, so you should check it out. That was number 8, Celldweller, Wish Upon a Black Star. Now, number 7, and I forgot about this album fucking 3 times now, so I'm glad that I'm finally putting it in, is Lights Out by Swedish fucking awesome rockers, Graveyard. Now, to put you in the picture, I got an opportunity to interview Graveyard. The interview can be found on the rockandrollreviews.com website. I got a chance to speak to the guys and basically, shoot the shit and find out, what had kind of influenced this awesome fucking rock album. It's probably my favourite rock album of 2012. There's a really bluesy kind of 70s guitar vibe going on, but I can hear influences ranging from everything like Queens of the Stone Age right through to kind of indie bands like the Zootons. There just seems to be something about this album. There's a really good kind of dexterity in the sound. Some moments are really harsh, really rocky in your face, and then other moments are really quiet, almost kind of somber affairs which just build up over time. It's fucking awesome album, and you should definitely check it out. That's my number 7 pick. It's Lights Out by Swedish rockers Graveyard. So that was number 7, which means we have one more left in this video, and that is my number 6 pick. And number 6 is actually a tied position, which is a total fucking cop-out, but there's no way I can choose between the two of these, and there's no way I'm not putting these in. So at number 6 is the combined effort of Cancerbats with their album Dead Set on Living, and Vision of Disorder with The Curse Remain Cursed. Now, both of these albums kind of similarly are by artists that are essentially hardcore bands which have kind of grown and expanded out. Now, Cancerbats have been one of my favourite bands since I heard their fucking phenomenal album, Hail Destroyer. It was my album of the year it came out, and well and truly put them on the map for me, having not been familiar with them before. Now, what Cancerbats have always the issue I've always had with them is that I love their fucking albums, but there's a clear divide between the songs. There's certain songs that sound like kind of southern metal songs, certain songs that sound like hardcore songs, and certain songs that sound like punk songs. Now, it's not a bad thing having all these influences, but when you listen to their albums, maybe not so much Hail Destroyer, but certainly the last one, Bears, Mares, Scraps and Bones, there is a clear divide between, well, that's a punk song, this is a hardcore song, which I've never minded, but I've always wanted to hear, Cancerbats find their own sound. And Dead Set on Living certainly is the band finding their own sound. It's the best thing I think they've done. I think it is an absolutely flawless album. The southern metal the punk and the hardcore elements are all completely fused together. The production is raw as fuck. The songs are brilliant. It's just a fucking great album. So yeah, that's you can see why it's in my number 6. It just missed out. Now, Vision of Disorder have come back off an extended hiatus and released The Curse Remain Cursed. This album is the most pissed off album I've heard this year. Now, that's not to say that there haven't been albums which have been more aggressive or angrier, but there is nothing more pissed off sounding than Tim Williams on vocals. He is a vocalist who practically fucking spits lava. He is just an angry, angry little bastard. And this album is it's the soapbox that the man needed to basically put us all through a sermon of fucking pure visceral rage. This album's out on Candlelight Records. We got a copy of it well in advance of it coming out, and I've listened to death. Honestly, this album has been listened to death. It's just fucking awesome. The band combine like thrash and proper hardcore, kind of New York style fucking hardcore. They just mash it together and just fucking thrust it down your throat. There is no give on this album at all. What I love about the album though is the fact that Tim Williams can sing. He's not just screamy, angry vocals. This man can sing, and when he sings, it does evoke kind of memories of Alice in Chains. That sort of style of vocals, fucking brilliant, and adds that layer which makes this album, once again, for my opinion, the best kind of hardcore release that came out this year. Now, a lot of people will argue me and say they're more a metalcore band now, but fuck you. I think they're awesome, right? So, that's me run down 10 to 6. There was obviously 2 at 6, which is going to be frowned upon by the viewer, but when you see the rule I broke for my number 5, you'll understand why. So, like I said, links all below for all the reviews on the site. That's rockandreelreviews.com. And join me, hopefully soon, for my second part of this video, which is I'm going to record right now anyway, which is my number 5s to 1s, Duncan's Top 10s 2012, Duncan's Quickies for Rock and Reel Reviews. Until then, I shall speak to you later. Catch you later. Yoink!